Hi, it's Pete here from Random Acts of Golf. Welcome to episode number 1. Boy, I'm excited to be bringing this show to you, where I hope to share some of my golfing exploits, but also introduce you to some things in golf that can enhance your game and your enjoyment of the game. So a couple of things I'm going to be sharing with you later in the show. One is I use a golf stats program, and in there is a facility. It's a really great feature called Match Play. You would have heard of Match Play Golf. Well, what I'm going to be doing is playing my last round, which I played yesterday, against my average score. And if I win, well, that's cool. But if I lose, I'm going to have to perform a random act of kindness. So we'll see how we go with that. Also, I'm involved in a golf premiership. It's something that's free and easy to do. You just need one person in a group of mates to go online, set up a premiership, and you just set your season, how much money everyone's going to contribute. You decide the prize split, and then away you go. But anyway, I'll share that with you as well later. We've just commenced a new season with a group of friends at my golf club. Now, a little about me. I'm from Brisbane in Queensland, Australia. My current handicap is 20, but my best handicap ever was 9.5. Never quite made it to single figures, but I've drifted out over the last 8 or 10 years. I've played a lot of garbage golf, but in the last year or so, I've really started to find my enthusiasm once again for my golf. And I'm starting to play like I know I'm capable of. So I'm sure I'm going to turn that around, and I want to share that with you as each week goes by. We'll watch my golf improve, my stats improve, and we'll see if we can win a few of those match play games and see how we go on that golf premiership, and a lot more as well. So to get things underway, let's first just talk about the British Open that happened and concluded last weekend. Being an Aussie, I was of course following the fortunes of Mark Leishman and Jason Day in particular, and boy, they played so well. And there's so many ifs in the game of golf. If Jason Day had held his putt on the last, he could have made the playoff. If Mark Leishman, I don't know if you saw him play the 16th hole, he was the leader at that stage, 16 under. He was about 30 metres from the pin in a little pot bunker, really difficult bunker shot, stuck it to about 4 to 5 feet away, and unfortunately missed the putt. If he'd made that putt, he would have come down the last but leading, and his par on the last would have been enough to see him win the tournament. In the end, of course, he had a putt on the last to win the tournament, but he wasn't able to make that. Went into the playoff, and of course in the playoff he had such bad misfortune in that his tee shot went into a divot, and he was forced to play to the heart of the green. The other two guys in the playoff, in Zach Johnson and of course Louis Oosthuizen, they both hold birdie putts. Then Mark was left with a par putt. He would have felt a bit disheartened, and he missed his par putt. He's 2 shots off the pace straight away in a 4-hole playoff, and the game was over for him. But I recall years ago, Jack Nicklaus, he suggested that any divot on a fairway should be ground under a pair. You should be able to get a free drop. I've thought that for years. I agree with Jack, and unfortunately the R&A, they don't agree. It's a difficult one because how do you define a divot? How old is a divot? Because you can imagine people would be stretching the rules, and they'll see that they're in an old divot. That's nothing wrong with it, but they'll still seek that preferred lie. So it is awkward, but it's tough if you've landed in the centre of the fairway and then you find yourself in a divot. Now, Jason Day, you've got a feel for Jason. He gets so close so often, and a win in a big tournament is just around the corner. So keep plugging away, Jason. We're all barracking for you. Now, Louis Oosthuizen, you've got to admire him. That chip shot he played on the 18th, he just stuck it really right beside the pin. And, I mean, Jason Day had the same shot, couldn't achieve it. Jordan Spieth had the same shot, couldn't do it. But he just manufactured that chip shot to stick right beside the pin, hold the putt for the birdie, and made the playoff. And boy, isn't he a positive and aggressive player, a really exciting player to watch. So we're really in a good place at the moment in world golf with all of these young guns, and that's fantastic. Now, to bring you back down to earth, let's talk about my golf game, and I'd like to share with you some of my stats from my game yesterday. Okay, here we are. This is my round in graphical format in my golf stats program, Tap In Golf Stats, and the day wasn't too bad actually, but if you just have a look at the last half a dozen holes, see the blue graphs here, that is my putts. And I had a 3-putt, a 1-putt, a 3-putt, a 4-putt and a 3-putt. And I mean the first 3-putt I was actually 4 feet from the pin putting for a par and ended up 3-putting. So there were some tricky greens, but still, if I could have saved 6 shots there. And if you look at my stats, it says, Peter, your putting was 6 shots worse than average. Your score was 2 shots more than average. I could have been 5 shots better than my average. 4 shots better than my average if I'd hold those putts. And anyway, I didn't, so that's the way it goes. Let's just show you a little bit more. We'll just go back to what we call the clubhouse here. Let's have a look at the putting. And you can see I had 18 and 22 putts, which is diabolical, way above what my averages would normally be. If we look at my worst putting, my worst on the front 9 is 20. I got 18 yesterday, and I actually achieved the worst for the back 9, and I achieved my worst for total putts. So congratulations, Pete. Let's look at how we went with ferrets, where we didn't have any ferrets yesterday. And 1-putts, yeah, only 2 1-putts in the last round. And we normally get a lot more than that, so that's not so flash. 2-putt greens, we achieved 11, which is around the average, but the big difference, have a look at this, is our 3 putts, 4. I have been putting pretty well lately. I did go through a stage where I was getting a number of 3 putts per round, and I've been concentrating on trying to eliminate that, but they came back yesterday, so that's not good. Let's just give you another little idea. So in Tap In Golf Stats, you can keep your eclectic, and I didn't improve my eclectic yesterday. This is the eclectic for the last 12 rounds, but you can see I've actually parred the course. There's still 3 holes where I haven't managed to par those, so we've got to aim to see if we can get a par on those and bring that eclectic even further down. Now, another feature in Tap In Golf Stats is our stroke index. We can actually have a look at our own stroke index compared to the course stroke index. Now, normally they align pretty well. Like if you look at the 3rd hole here where I play at Brisbane Golf Club, the hardest hole, that's actually my 2nd hardest hole. But let's have a look at where some variances are. The 2nd hole, for example, the card says it's the 7th hardest hole, but I actually played as the worst hardest hole. Then if we look at the 12th hole, that's my 4th hardest hole, but the card says it should be the 11th hardest hole. So it's interesting, just those little variances, and just gives you some things to focus on for your next round. So really that 2nd hole, it should be easier than what I'm playing it, and I just got to take a different tact on that one. Now what I want to share with you is this match play feature. Now what we're going to do is we're looking at my average for my last 12 rounds, and it's going to play against my last round that I played yesterday. All we're going to do is click play and we'll see what happens. Here we go. So my average had a 6 on the first hole, I had a 7, so 1 down after 1, 2 down after 2 with an 8 on the second, back to 1 down, and we're still 1 down on the 4th, all square on the 5th with a win there. Well, we won the 6th to go 1 up, we won the 7th to go 1 up, and we won the 8th to go 2 up. We lost the 9th and we're back to 1 up at the turn. On the 10th, we're 2 up, we halved the 11th to stay 2 up, won the 12th, so we're looking good at 3 up. Oh, we've lost the 13th. We know we've got all those 3 putts and 4 putts coming up. On the 16th, we've lost that. We're back to 1 up. We're all square at 17, and after 18, we're all square. So we had a very close little tussle there. And the comment is, you can't get much closer than that, Peter. See if you can go 1 better next time. So there you go. Now, my little challenge to myself is, if I lose my match, that I'm going to perform a random act of kindness. I'm not sure what that's going to be, but I like doing nice things for people, so we'll see what that is, and I'll let you know in a future episode when I have to perform it. So this stage I squared that match so I don't have to perform a random act of kindness. Phew, there you go. Now the next thing I'd like to share with you is my premiership. So let's have a look at that. So here we are, it's a Super 7s Golf Premiership, and you just go to s7.com.au. Now anybody can set up their own premiership. It just needs one person in a group of mates, and you just become an administrator. You then can invite some people to join your pool. Once you've set up a pool, you could set the season for the pool, set how much money everyone's going to pay. It just has to be something friendly, just for interest really. And then what happens is everyone gets an email every week with the latest premiership results. Now the way Super 7s works is it's the best 7 rounds over the series, and for each round that you play to your handicap you'll get 7 points. If you play 3 better you get 10 points. If you play 3 worse you'll get 4 points. It's as simple as that. And let's just take you to mine now. So I'll just log in. We'll select our pool. And here we go, the results are waiting to be input. So all we do, for people in Australia, we have a GolfLink number, and all we do is click on the GolfLink number, and that'll take us to the GolfLink site, and it'll take us to that player, and we can just get the results for that particular player. I'll just show you one. And yesterday's date was the 25th. And this particular player, he played off 6 and he played to a handicap of 8. He had 34 Stableford points. So we just put in there that he played to 8. Now I'll just go and insert the rest, and then you can see the result at the end. Okay, so I've input all of the different scores, so what people played off and what they played to. Now all we do is just make sure we've got the next round date selected, which is going to be next week, and we just click submit. And here we are, here's our premiership table, and you can see Richard's at the top with 23 points, followed by Lewis, followed by moi. There you go, I'm in 3rd spot. So here we have a administrator's comments box, and so this will be a comment that will go out to everybody. So I've just made a couple of comments about the people who scored points yesterday, and I'll just click send results by email, and now everybody will get an email. So there we have it. That's Random Acts of Golf episode number 1, and I'll look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you very much and have a great week.